Hello and welcome back everyone to Last Level Press. I'm Mr. Black and I have once again returned to the fray of Robocraft. This time at the helm of the M44 Hammerhead Mark I. And I'm of two minds about this particular build. For those who are unaware, it is a recreation of sorts, as close as I could get given my limited cube and piece options, of the namesake M44 Hammerhead from Mass Effect, namely Mass Effect 2, I believe it was, 2, 3, one of those, I think 2. And I really like the way the body came out and the overall shaping of it, given the cubular design limitations, but she doesn't really fly terribly well. The fact that I've got two forward thrusters and only one in the rear, as is faithful to the source material of the design, doesn't really work so well within the physics of this game. And really, honestly speaking, it probably wouldn't work terribly well in actual aerodynamics either. So I'll just let you all witness the reason that while I like the way that this came out visually, I probably won't be keeping the Hammerhead for terribly long, unless any of you guys, after witnessing what you're about to see, have any ideas, and if you do please leave them in the comments below, about how to fix this craft, because it kinda works, and I am quite happy with the fact that I was able to remain relatively faithful to the source material while, again, just as with the Mako, compromising insofar as it'll actually be semi-viable for this game. Again, it's why it's got 3 plasma cannons rather than one big stout main gun like in the Game of Inspiration. But as you can see, the nose end likes to kind of pop a wheelie in midair. Uh-oh, no! Don't shoot me, no! No! Uh-oh, ow! And then that happens. And suddenly it wants to be a Command & Conquer Orca. And because it is upside down, my controls invert. And I've now got to try to press left and right the opposite way. And it actually kind of looks a little bit cool when it flips over, but it's not supposed to. So, yeah. If I can actually get the nose to rise up enough to arc shots toward the enemy. No. Oh, these inverted controls. Damn. Then it wouldn't really be a halfway terrible artillery platform, but as it is, no, I'm not gonna be flying too many close air support missions in this beast. Maybe if I keep my rear to the enemy, yes, because now it's actually facing the enemy and making a target of myself. Well, at least we're righted again, and I spoke far too soon. Fantastic. And that's the Hammerhead, everybody! Who else, finds themselves deeply disappointed? Because I do. So, I think I'm going to try and avoid getting shot for the remainder of this match, because my teammates seem to be doing relatively well. We're not getting completely annihilated, he said, as another one fell. Damn. Why am I flying closer to that guy? I should stop that, because I don't have any current turrets remaining. So, I'm a little more than target practice for most of these guys. Well, maybe I can make myself a little bit useful. Ow! And not crash into mountains. Not crashing into mountains would be fantastic, but I'm lopsided thrust-wise, so yeah, navigation, not really so easy. Maybe I can make myself useful and kinda sort of flop and limp my way. No, stop going that way! If I can get over toward the enemy's big giant scary laser spawn, maybe I can stop going this way! I'm pressing forward, guys, I really am. And it does not... No, not that way. Why do you... I know you want to retreat. I know you're scared. So am I. But we've got to be men about this. We've got to charge toward... Space Needle. No, not the right one. This guy's over here doing donuts because, hey, you're in the desert. Why not? Can we please... Never mind. We're still alive. That's a victory in and of itself. I would like to go now. Thank you. Yes, discombobulate that thing. And let's see what I gained from this. Well, we got our first victory bonus. I believe that may be First victory of the day in this vehicle. I think that's what those bonuses come from. So, I actually got a fair amount of tech tokens from that, but not enough to unlock the next gun in Tier 2, which is the last remaining T2 item. And much as my self-preservation instinct begs me not to, I've still got several minutes left for this episode, and I don't think you all would get much out of watching me attempt to fix this thing, and I don't even have a clue as to where to begin to do so. So it's back into the fray, where I will probably meet a horrible, horrible fate. Hey, this actually kind of resembles one of the planets that, or their moons, I forget, one of the mission locations for the actual Hammerhead in Mass Effect. That's kind of a cool little thing to notice. Alright then. Now, I think I'm gonna... No, don't you hit me! No! I'm just... Really? Nice! Okay, he's got the little flippy over thingy that... You can see, that's what that black bar is right behind my pilot's seat. It's supposed to flip me over, but I don't think it actually works for aerial vehicles. I think it only actually works for vehicles that are touching the ground. No! Really? You're just gonna do somersaults because you want to. Okay, how do I get more rear thrust, enough rear thrust, to push me forward into doing flips? And yet I've got 2 thrusters up near the front of the vehicle that don't do that. I don't understand. Any of you Robocraft veterans out there that are watching this and cringing, if you're still here and you want to help me assuage my pain, please help me. I don't know how to fix this thing. And I think if I can't fix this, given how stable it is when it flips over upside down like this, I may actually make a similar build with construction more similar to this flipped over version of the Hammerhead and try to make a Orca from Command & Conquer Tiberian Sun. I think that could be interesting. Or perhaps one of the... What are they called? I think it's Wraiths are the Space Marine attack VTOLs from StarCraft, which I always kind of liked the look of. I was never a huge StarCraft fan, but I did like the art style of the game, especially for some of the vehicles and for the Zerg. I only really played the original. I know, I'm probably going to really embarrass myself here, but I've never played StarCraft 2. I know there's an entire professional sports league in Korea for it, and I've never played it, or even really seen it played. Even though I understand it is quite good. And ow! How am I getting shot? Where did you come from? And we were defeated, even though we're sitting on the... Oh, because all of them were camped on our spawn. That's fantastic. Isn't this going well, kids? No. Alright, yeah, only 76 robo points. But at least I got 2 tech tokens, so there's that. And I've, unfortunately, got time for 1 more. So let's be a little bit masochistic and punish this poor thing a little longer. I implore thee, if you have any ideas as to how to fix this thing, let me know. Because it seems weirdly imbalanced. Like, sometimes having the 2 thrusters up front does me a lot of good. And yet other times, it seems like that back-end thruster just gets weirdly powerful out of nowhere and makes me do somersaults. I think it may be because it actually sits a little higher on the frame than the forward thrusters do, which I figured would actually help to give it that forward lean to go forward, but obviously because it keeps wanting to do air wheelies, such is not the case. That is unfortunate. Alright, maybe. Alright, let's actually fly this thing the way it was really meant to be flown, as a Mass Effect vehicle, and just... No. Okay, never mind. I was hoping I could just speed forward and not stop and fly over the handlebars like an irresponsible kid on a bike. But no. Apparently, going really quickly forward is the problem, not the solution. So, alright, I've figured out that if I turn my ass toward the enemy, I can at least kind of fire from between my invisible legs. I swear, it's like I'm bending over and shooting between my knees. This is just weird. And every time it does this, I remind you, the left and right controls invert. So, this is just one of those weird sorts of psychology experiments, the likes of which I really enjoyed reading about when I was still in college. Fun fact for you guys, I minored in psychology, so I actually studied a fair amount of that. And one of the most interesting experiments that I ever read about was one in which the participants, who are of course volunteer students, were given these goggles that would basically upside down mirror their vision. And they were to wear them from the moment they get up in the morning to the moment they go to bed at night, and try, even in those few moments as getting up out of bed and everything goes, to minimize any and all exposure to normally oriented vision. And, of course, on day one, they're all stumbling around like drunks because, Ermagerd, everything is upside down. What is life? What is the world anymore? And yet, even though on day one they all, like, needed help getting around, and they had to have, like, seeing eye helpers to get them to class every day, and they couldn't write, by day 3, almost all of them were performing totally normally, as though nothing were different. Just like this is the way that their brains had always worked. This is the way that vision had always been. And they actually were able to, by the end of the week, function with no aid. They were completely normal. Their brains had just kind of rearranged the way that they were receiving that information and said, oh, okay, this is the way vision works now. And then at the end of the week, when they'd already gotten used to it, they took the goggles off in class and were told, okay, now experiment is over, you can return to the way that you ordinarily live your life now. Suddenly, they were stumbling all over the place again, because their brains were like, no, what are you doing? We fixed it! And I don't know, I was just reminded of that. It's barely relevant to this, but inverted controls, I found it funny. And yeah, funny the things that our brains can cope with and even learn to normalize when thrown into odd situations. Because I did find, when I was recording my initial test runs off camera, and even just now, that when I don't actually think too hard about it, and I flip over and the controls invert like that, I actually kind of get used to it sometimes, and it just kind of comes naturally. So, again, it's not supposed to work that way, and I'm rather proud of how it looks, given that I don't actually have any of the wing pieces that I think could actually make the, like, rear tail stabilizers look a bit better, and probably stabilize a bit of this front end. And whoa! Camera, what are you doing? Go home, camera, you're drunk. I didn't tell you to go anywhere. Okay, then. That was a weird glitch. Seems like it's like I had sticky keys on, except I've disabled that because I hate that function. So anyway, before my computer gets possessed again, I'm gonna wrap this episode here. And again, if you guys have any ideas on how to fix this or for other builds that you would like to see me attempt in this game, leave them in the comment section below. And as I mentioned before, I can't promise that I will be able to try all of them, but those that I find to be most interesting, I may very well give a shot in the future. So this has been Robocraft here at Last Full Press, and as always, I'm Mr. Black, and I wish you all good gaming and Godspeed. You can't refuse. That offer is lead in your skull, right in your face hole. Oh god.